What's up, Wrap Shop Talk? Brett Knott here, and I wanted to record a video. It's 2025. The year has passed, and it's game time, essentially. And I wanted to come up with a video of 3 things that all vehicle wrap shops need to be doing in order to grow and scale their vehicle wrap shops. Now, 2025 is going to be a year of abundance and opportunity. I do feel like it could still be rocky just because the economy has been all over the place. There's nothing that is predictable, okay? But I do feel that there's a great deal of opportunity. I do feel like there's a great deal of confidence in the marketplace, and we're starting to see it with a reflection of the data that's coming in, such as inbound phone calls, marketing ad spend, etc. So the 3 things that we're going to cover today on this video is how to effectively manage your time and a framework around that, how to leverage your resources and time, and finally, continuing to be consistent, which is by far the most difficult thing, but the most important thing that you can do. So, managing your time. There's a framework that I was taught by Thomas Keenan. He's an author of a book called Unfuck Your Business. And essentially, he has everybody that comes under his one-on-one consulting do a time study. And in that time study, you essentially track your time on 15-minute intervals onto an Excel spreadsheet. I realized just how much time, even though I was working 16, 18 hours a day, how much time was actually lapsing that I was not essentially effective. And that opened up my eyes to a lot. And then from there, you categorize or color code the time that you spent on the day into different buckets. The 4 different buckets or classifications are $10 an hour task, $100 an hour task, $1,000 an hour task, and $10,000 an hour task. Now you say to yourself, $10,000 an hour task? Yeah, but the point is they are things that you cannot put value onto and cannot measure in ROI, such as family time. So $10 an hour task are very little petty things like maybe taking a deposit to the bank account, maybe answering general phone calls, maybe it is taking out the trash, etc. There's a lot of mundane tasks that you can delegate in your business. And maybe you're only a 1-person shop. Those are some of the first things that you should delegate out. Get you a intern or a helper around the shop and let them handle that while you're training them up. So the second bucket is your $100 task. Now, these are things such as lead generation, sales, managing employees, implementing software, marketing, and hiring. These are a higher level tasks that you can be doing and should be doing in your business. The third bucket, your $1,000 an hour task, are designing systems and processes. That means that the reason why it's worth $1,000 is because you're gaining leverage to increase your output elsewhere. Recording videos, working with a coach or a mentor, deciphering your core values, attending seminars, conferences, and workshops, and sharing your vision, or even just spending time on defining what your vision is. There are many people who have no clue what they are working towards or for. So you're navigating the business or your entrepreneurial world without any form of compass or GPS system. And then the 4th bucket is your $10,000 an hour task. And essentially that's spending time with your kids and family, date nights with your spouse, your girlfriend, whomever that may be, going on adventures and creating actual memories with friends and family, public speaking, exercising, and podcasting. So essentially, it is doing things that I actually feel that recording videos should be a $10,000 an hour task, because video is one of the most leveraged tools that is underutilized. And I did not understand that until I started doing these videos for you guys. And then I started using them internally within my business as well, such as when a business first comes in on a lead, we can send out a video of why should you use Design It. It's not because we're the best installers on the planet. It's because we respect the time of the contractors who are using us, and we show them the value based on the time proposition that we save them. And then, we create a whole video sequence of emails that go out to the customer of why should you use us? Will it work? Will it work for me? Etc. So once you start to audit this and you actually put it onto that spreadsheet and you start to classify it, you start to realize that you're robbing your business of capital. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's say that you pay yourself $50,000 a year. That's a very low rate, but let's just use it as an example. And there's 2,080 and there's 2,080 hours per year, right? And the majority of your time is spent doing busy work to get tiny little dopamine hits around the shop, etc. And those are only $10 an hour. Now, is that $10 an hour times 2,080? That's worth $20,000 approximately. Is that going to push the needle in your business? No. Now, if you were to only do $100 an hour tasks such as lead generation, sales, etc., and there's 2,080 work hours in a normal human being's shift, which we all know that we work more than, then you should be able to generate $200,000 for your business as a sole person. The $1,000 an hour tasks are where you start to hit your $500K to $1 million metrics, because now you're starting to leverage your team, etc., to where you're not having to do all of the activities. So make sure that you're utilizing your time correctly. It's non-refundable. So just make sure that you're implementing your time correctly and just look at it with this lens. And this framework will help you at least implement 1 hour a day on a $1,000 an hour task. That means recording one video for a system and processes, which is actually hitting two things. And then now you can hand that off to your administration, your team, etc., in which when you go to hire somebody, it takes less of your time at that moment to say, hey, follow me around the shop and just watch what I do, and hopefully you learn. The reason why this was the first topic that I went over is because why are we in business? We are in business to make money, yes, but most of us have an authority issue. Most of us don't like to work for other people. We like to work for ourselves. But really, when you dig deeper down in it, we went into entrepreneurship in many cases because we thought that we would have more time. We thought that because we can do it our way, that we can actually extract more time to do more things. And instead, we end up trapped in our businesses in many cases. So you want to be time rich. So if you shift your time to where eventually you're doing 2, 3, 4, 5 hours on $1,000 tasks only, then it's going to allow you to have more time to do $10,000 an hour tasks, such as spending time with family, going out on vacations, etc., which have irreplaceable ROI, period. So the second topic is learning how to leverage resources. These are things such as mentorship and coaching. You know, if there's somebody that has the life that you want to live, then you should reach out to that individual and say, hey, I really like what you have. Could you be my coach? Now, I will caution you with coaching and mentorship, just make sure to really vet the person, that they're the right person for you. And then also make sure to not really take mentorship or coaching for more than, I would say, 6 months in many cases. And the reason for that from that individual is after 6 months' time, you have now extracted, let's just say 80% of the information that that person can give you. You have two different situations that's occurring. Either they've given you so much value that you frankly just need to stop the coaching. Okay, I need to just take massive action. That's what happened to me, was I had 6 months of one-on-one coaching with the integrator coach. And at that point I said, there's no point in us meeting anymore. I'm paying $2,500 a month and I need to implement. Really, I have about a year's worth of work here. So let me just take action. I'll call you back if I need you. He was basically like, congratulations. Most people never arrive at this point. Instead, they just draw it out to get the dopamine hits. And he intentionally only does smaller windows of coaching for that reason, because he does not want to take advantage of people. The second thing that happens with mentorship and coaching is because you meet on a very frequent basis, sometimes accidentally a friendship occurs, and that's a good thing. But also that means that there's diminishing returns on the value proposition from that call. Instead, it becomes a hangout and an escape from reality rather than a time for you to actually decompress time and launch forward. Is the current software that I'm using confusing? Is there good support behind it, etc.? I went through this where I basically had to blaze my own path on the software front because it was ridiculous. I spent tons of money trying to get stuff built out. Never happened. Wasted a good $25,000 and, good 2 years of time. And I even lost good staff because the software that we were using just wasn't up to par. So one big thing to leverage in 2025, if you're not, is software. There's so many good softwares out there. Trello is a big use in our industry. Monday.com, Asana, Torque CRM, HubSpot. They're all fantastic. The most important thing is that you use it, period. And then the second most important thing is there a way for you to have it built to where you're not having to build while also running your business? Because that becomes very difficult. There are service components with, Torque CRM, HubSpot, et cetera, where there are third-party resources to where they can go in and actually build out the software for you. So then you can deploy some capital and actually build it out to your liking. Many people underutilize this next one, which is essentially contractors. Use more contractors. If you're a one-man shop and you're trying to get to your next employee, the best way for you to audit whether you're pricing correctly or whether that's a good move or whether it's actually what you need is to utilize contractors. You're not liable for them on a daily. And so you can actually, as long as you do the math on your pricing calculation, that you're still profitable after using the contractor, then the only reason that you wouldn't use a contractor is if you didn't have enough sales. Whereas if you had enough sales, then there's no reason that you shouldn't use a contractor because you are bottlenecked. And you will never hire the next person if you can't deploy some cash to buy some time back, right? So hiring contractors is a great way to test whether you need an installer or not, rather than just saying, I need an installer. And then you hire them and you're like, oh shoot, it's taking away from all my profits, et cetera, and you're not leveraging them correctly. So I'm a huge fan of contractors. I hear the excuse sometimes that there's just nobody in my area. I can't find anybody that does it like me, et cetera. Did you lay down the foundation of what was expected for the contractor? Did you tell them exactly how you expected the install to be finished and whether they would be paid if it was not completed to do so? So in many cases, there's accountability or a hard conversation that needs to be had to establish the situation that you're walking into to ensure the outcome is as desired. Now, in talking about contractors, you need more sales. So start marketing. Now, we have a very visual product. A lot of us post every single day on Facebook and say, hey, look at this pretty work we're doing. Break out the video camera. This is $1,000 an hour task. Break out the video camera while the install is happening. Break out a tripod and do a time lapse of you installing it. People love watching our product get put together. Now, when you're posting on Facebook, if you're doing this DIY style and you see one that hits, maybe record a small call to action on the front of that and run that as an ad, as a tester, because the market told you this is interesting to your end user. This is something we're going to be doing a lot this year myself. I do leverage a marketing agency. It's been great. And Facebook is crushing it right now. Honestly, Google's pretty expensive. Google is a better lead. But if you have a good sales process in place and you're following up with your leads consistently, Facebook right now for us is dominating. Last year, we closed a total of $700,000 of additional business through marketing. And I think we spent about $75,000, $80,000 for those leads. So once you start implementing that contractor, you need more sales to feed yourself and that contractor so you can double up your time. And the final thing is just being consistent. Listen, there are so many options for you to grow and scale your business. It gets confusing, meaning I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to do this, I got to do that, and all these options. Pick one thing, choose for this quarter of 2025 for Q1. Just pick one thing. I'm going to call this many people per day, or I'm going to follow up with this many leads per day, or I'm going to record this many videos per day, and just focus on that one task and let it become a habit. You need more time, but if you're kind of just slowly plucking at like 100 different things versus going all in on one thing, then you have this huge effort, but no result. And then you end up questioning at the end of the year, like, well, man, I was really busy and I accomplished nothing. There's a story my mentor told me a long time ago, and it was basically, you have one pail of water and there's 9 fires. What do you do? And of course, me and my busy self, I said, you try to put out all 9 fires with the one pail by putting a little bit on each. And he goes, no, you just put one fire out completely. And now you only have 8 to deal with at that current moment. And so if you have a labor issue, find the contractor, make a rule that every other install will be installed by a contractor, or every third, like slowly throttle into this to where you can test and be curious what is going to work for your business. How is your business going to react when you start deploying that cash? What does it do? Just be observant within your business while you're implementing whatever you're implementing and see what the feedback that you're receiving is. If you're doing sales to a very high degree and you notice that your installs are falling behind because you're allocating 2 hours a day to sales, well then boom, the feedback is I need more help. I need to find a contractor. And then when you hire the contractor, if the feedback is, man, this guy seems like he's really good, but for some reason the finished outcome isn't quite to my standards. Well, the feedback is, did you set the standard? Does he really know how you want it installed? Is he capable of doing that? If he is, then why can't we arrive at that? Is it that the expense is too high? Some people think that that's the case, but that takes more time to observe your cash flow and run your P&Ls, and that's a whole deeper topic. But the point is, most people's feedback that they need right now is either sales or labor fronted. And just pay attention to the feedback that you're receiving as you do more sales or as you hire more labor. And then build a plan around that. And so it could be that Q1, you're curious. Q2, you take action. Q3, you realize that you need a full-time person. By then, you've been chipping away at those videos or systems or processes, and you're saying, okay, who do I really want? Maybe you've gone through 10 different contractors because the first 9 sucked, or the first 9 just weren't a good fit for your business, etc. And now you can identify, because you've gone through reps, of who you really want on your team. So 2025 year is going to be an amazing year. I wish you nothing but the best in your business. I'm here to help if you need any help. And yeah, just get out there and crush it and just pull one lever over and over and over and figure out what that is that you need right now to deploy in your business to make it 2025 the best year that you've ever had. So, and with that said, thank you so much for watching this video, and please give us a like and a comment of what was your biggest takeaway from this video. And lastly, subscribe. It helps us greatly. We're looking to ramp up big time in 2025. We have our first Q1 Wrap Shop Talk Bootcamp, or Wrap Shop Academy Bootcamp, and we have 16 people attending that. It's going to be phenomenal. Looking forward to it, and we'll see you on the next video.